Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Cost of living protests fizzle out in more states in Abuja. While you're doing 4.3 million Nigerians get direct cash transfer. Heirs Insurance Group appoints Puri Iroche executive directors. 1.4 million jobs on offer from bottom textile sector. Students top list of 4.68 million voters in Edo-Ondo polls. CBN okays merger of Unity and Providers Bank. And FG inaugurates steering committee for digital free zones. Okay, which story? I'm really excited about the 1.4 million jobs. Who has that story?
Me, I have it. So, if I raise my hand like I'm in school. So the federal government's collaboration with the International Cotton Advisory Committee, ICAC, has launched a bid to resuscitate Nigeria's cotton industry, aiming to create over 1.4 million jobs annually. You know that what cotton is used for, in all forms of clothes, bandages, seed oil, in foods and cosmetics. So now we don't even need to import seed oil that we can use in our cosmetics. We can actually have our own. Yes, so this is amazing. So Vice President Kashim Shettima, during a meeting with ICAC delegation led by his Executive Director, Mr. Eric, urged stakeholders to create a roadmap for the sector's revitalization, emphasizing the need for action. It was said that this is not a time to work, this is a time to work more and talk less. Vice President also assured that the Tinubu administration will make conscious efforts to ensure the country harnesses opportunities in the cotton value chain, including ensuring that Nigeria regains its ICAC membership. Yes, he thanked them, and then I just love the fact that we are doing this. This is amazing. It's going to create jobs. Yes,
we're always waiting for the materialization of this thing.
It will happen.
One thing to say, because we always share a lot of good news, but sometimes we just,
the action, right? Let's start with getting the membership back on track, and then.
Okay, another story in Nation.
Yes, I do. I have this from our minister, Mr. Wale Edun, our coordinating minister of the economy. He says that no fewer than 4.3 million Nigerians have received direct cash transfers from the federal government. And he says that 1 million citizens were reached in the last few weeks, while the target is to transfer cash to 1 million vulnerable Nigerians each month. He also said, the government is trying to make sure in different ways that this we reach vulnerable Nigerians who are going through, a lot. Let me get there. He says that this particular program was projected to scale to assist at least 1 million people per week or every 2 weeks. So for now, it's monthly, but they're hoping to see that this is something that they can do weekly or 2 weeks. But this depends largely on technological capabilities. He says that this government is very concerned about the welfare of its people and is doing everything that it can, especially in the areas of food availability. In the short term, they're distributing from our reserves, so making sure that everybody gets that. And then, as we know, they've opened an importation window, but that this is not going to affect local farmers. Local farmers and millers will make sure that what they have on ground has been fully exhausted before the importation is done. He says that they have account auditors that will make sure that this is possible, that they will check. Talked about what the support to enterprises. He says that nano enterprises will receive grants of 50,000, while small and medium enterprises can access $1 million funding at 9%. Larger, medium-sized enterprises are eligible for $1 billion in financing at the same interest rate. So there's a whole lot that he says the government is doing in order to alleviate, the issues that we have. It's important that, Nigerians read this, because a lot of things you hear is, we don't know what government is doing. So in this case, we can see what government is doing. Or when government does it, who is it that gets who are those that are benefiting? I think government also needs to find a way to make sure that when you benefit, you need to speak up. Yeah. Find a way to show that you have benefited. Then the auditors are supposed to check the implementation of these things as well. We need to know who they are.
Right.
It's a lot.
Normalcy has returned to many states following the protests that started last week. According to the Nation newspapers, protesters in Akwa Ibom, Osun, Edo states backed down virtually in all 17 states in the south, except for Rivers. Only Rivers had a number of people coming out to protest. Abuja FCT also had a breather yesterday life returned to normalcy in most parts. Lagos, the nation's commercial city, also returns to its boisterous self, according to the papers. And there was a rumor going around that protesters had stormed Wike's residence. And of course, buzz came out that was not true. They came to that neighborhood, that area. They were only there for like 15 minutes and then they moved, but they never came into his street or even close to his house at all. So, people just come up with all these stories and put it on social media just to heat up inside the polity. Yeah, so in states like Osun, Ogun, Delta, protest was not noticeable yesterday in Ekiti. So pretty much life is going back to normal. So somebody called from the UK, oh, I hope you're staying safe. I said, I should be asking you.
Yeah.
You're the one that has problems.
They know how very okay. To worry about us.
I said, how is she? Said, no, I'm okay. I said, okay, just be sure you're really okay.
I said, now there's no better. All the same.
All the same.
Okay. I want to take the story on the fact that students are top the list, counting down to the elections in Ondo and Edo states. Or like rhymes, Ondo, Edo. So the Ondo state election would, of course, take place by September 21, and Edo state election will take place by November 11. And in counting down, the final registration, final figures of registered voters within both states have been released. Detailed data. No, now, when you watch Oyinbo movies about elections, you see how analysts will be walking through the data, the number of men, number of women, number of middle-aged, number of students, to inform how they will campaign and how they will meet the needs of these people and talk to them. But students top the list of registered voters in both states, which means if they don't close down the schools pre-election, the students will contribute a huge voting chunk to both states.
They're adults, they can choose to
I'm
leave
hoping
their
that they would
classes.
let them
class to go vote.
And go and vote. It will make a lot of sense if they're able to do that. So the breakdown for women, percentage of persons living with disability was also released among the voters. Very small percentage. And I'm wondering if this is a true reflection of the number of persons living with disability or those that were willing to brave the challenges of getting to registration to register. Maybe we should make our processing easier to have more persons living with disability be able to register, because it's just 0.1% of the registration being persons living with disability.
Yeah,
I think that's interesting data to
All right, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.